These days, there's a lot been spoken about influencers. We have a number of influencers on social media, be it Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok. Today, I thought we'll talk to a couple of very influential influencers. So let's talk to Dimitri and Sasha.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Did you see us cringe when you said?
Yes. So you don't consider yourself influencers?
No, I do. It's
do.
just that the word comes with a lot of
baggage.
negative connotation attached to it, just socially.
Yeah. So why do you think that negative connotation has come in? I mean, influencers obviously should be something good. You're trying to send a message across. But has that sort of changed now suddenly?
No, it's that for me personally, I fight against that stigma of, like, you know, when you say influencer, you sort of look down upon it.
Yeah.
But I try my best to just sort of turn the switch around. I think it's happened because of you know, globally there have been lots of other instances of sort of the Instagram influencer being too much of a fake version, and then maybe sort of, you know, there have been too many incidents,
Right.
where, you know, the word influencer kind of gets looked down upon.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, it is about people who are capable of creating influence.
Okay.
So I try my best to, you know, keep it at that level.
Okay. How did you, Dimitri, like, you know, think, okay, you want to be very active on social media, be it on Instagram and then now on TikTok. I mean, you're huge on TikTok as well. I mean, where did this happen? Like, you know, is this something that naturally came about, or did you have a plan?
Definitely no plan.
Okay.
I think it just kind of, it was an organic thing. I think it is organic for a lot of people online, like that's how it has come about. But there are now, I think a lot of people do join TikTok and social media hoping, okay, I want to be famous, or I don't know, some kind of, you know, build a platform.
Okay.
In my case, it was very organic. Just, you know, I think a lot of people joined TikTok during
Right.
COVID-19, and then it kind of grew from there.
And this whole creating content on TikTok or Instagram, I mean, you know, is it something that you do at home, just use your phone and do, or, you know, you have a computer to do all that kind of stuff?
In my case, it's completely just me doing it on my phone.
Okay.
I don't even have a stand for the most part. It's just me holding it.
Okay.
On my own.
I'm in Jaffna.
ජෆ්න බස් එක ගත්ත රෑ 10ට ගන්න. බස් එක ආයේ පට්ට සීතලයි වෙවුල ගියා ඉතින්. නැග්ග විතරයි නිදාගත්තා. ආයේ ජෆ්න වලට ගිහලා තමයි ඇහැරුනේ.
පැය 8ට කියලා හිතාගෙන ඉතින් මේ බස් එක ආව පැය 5යි. මම vlog එකක් කරන්න කියලා බැලුවේ උදේ ජෆ්න බස් එකට නැගලා ඊට පස්සේ හොටෙල් එකට ඔක්කොම vlog කරන්න කියලා හිටියා. මදයි ඉතින් මම නිදාගත්තානේ. ඉතින් vlog කැලේ. අද අපි ඉන්නේ ජෆ්නා සිරුණ වේදික. මේ අපි පොඩ්ඩක් shopping පාරක් දානවා. But look at this mannequin. පොඩ පස්ස වැඩි නැද්ද? මම වැඩකට ආවේ මාත් එක්ක ආපු කට්ටිය මාව දාලා ගිහින් තුරු දහන් වෙලා දැන්. Now I can't find.
මාව දාලා ගිහපු එකේ මං ඉතින් ජෆ්න ටවුන් එක වටේ තනියම ඇවිද්දා. බුරුකුයි අරෝ මේව කකා මං ෂෝක් එකට රවුමක් ගැහුවා ඉතින්.
I'm staying at Tinne කියලා හොටෙල් එකේ.
Yeah, for me, it is about 80% of the time just the phone and me.
Okay.
But then, you know, I come with a background of TV production.
Right.
So because of that, when it's sort of more higher end requirements from brands or brand deals, then I definitely get a crew involved.
Okay.
Which is partly because it's my interest to produce that sort of content as well, and
Okay.
also because sometimes that requirement comes my way.
Okay.
Hello, Hane, hunga kaliking. මං ඔයාව ආපහු කවදද හම්බ වෙන්නේ කියලා කල්පනා කර කර හිටියානේ. ඔයා වෙනස් වෙලා, හස්සන වෙලා, ස්ලිම් වෙලා. ඔයාට මතකද නේ අපි ඉස්සර කතා කරපු දේවල්?
We were talking about, I mean, you were mentioning about the fact that, you know, there are this stigma around the term influencer. It's growing by, as a result, I guess, of, you know, certain people who are on Instagram and TikTok as well. But, you know, social media initially was meant to be an informative sort of tool, right? It was something to send people information about where certain incidents are taking place, or, you know, information, stuff like that. Where do you think this trend sort of suddenly started changing, you know, with social media now being used for promoting brands mostly, for promoting individuals, personalities and stuff like that. Where did this change come about from, from your knowledge?
I wonder if social media was actually to share information. I think from the
Twitter was initially.
Even still, wasn't it still like a promotion, like a tool to promote things? Even I feel like even on Twitter now, you get the corporates who use that as an opportunity to promote their brand. Also, I think Twitter brought in that real-time engagement opportunity, right? But even still, like even people who share information, say yourself, journalists who are on Twitter and then they share information, and it is for the benefit of your followers. But even still, it is a form of promoting your brand.
Okay.
I think I feel like Twitter and like social media, all in general, are platforms to promote brands and to market.
Okay.
I feel like that has been like the.
But hasn't there been a change since COVID, where even products, where like leading brands are also now switching a lot towards social media? I mean, we see that in the media industry that very few people are now wanting to advertise on mainstream media. They are switching to social media.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's another form of media at the end of the day. It's the same thing as a newspaper. It's the same thing as the radio, television, and then now digital media.
Okay.
It's an organic evolution to what we've gotten to here, because the newspaper started off as just news, but then there's gossip articles, there's little things, there's magazines now, there's so many things. Same thing happened with radio, same thing happened with television, same thing is organically going to happen with social media, because it's just another media, form of media. So I think it's just where people's interests lie. People want to know news, people also want to know other forms
gossip.
of news.
Gossip.
At the end of the day, which is also news.
Yes.
It's how.
But then isn't social media also being used to sort of dig into people's personal lives? I mean, you have those restrictions when it comes to mainstream media. Not so much, right?
Because it's less regulated.
Yeah. But then do you see that also as a drawback? I mean, social media being used now to dig into people's personal lives?
I think that's just because it's the beginning. I mean, even traditional media, probably during the time of its start, when people were figuring out its demarcations and the limits and, how far we can take this, I think that's just, it's just a victim of circumstance, what we are experiencing right now. Now, we have regulations coming in, I think even for social media. Globally, there are, regulations, and in Sri Lanka also, I heard, I think, Consumer
Dimitri, of course, is also doing law, right?
Yes.
So you're a bit familiar with some of the legal implications, I guess.
Yeah, and so there is like, there's a circular that's going to come out, I think, to regulate social media and brands and how they communicate their messages. So it's starting, I think. Yeah. So right now what we're experiencing is like the limbo of like trying things out. And definitely there are drawbacks.
But what does it take to be an influencer? Because a lot of people now are calling themselves influencers for, simply being on social media or for having a number of followers.
The way I see it is that there are two categories of content creators in the form of, you can have sort of the more evergreen influencers and content creators who we can see the way that they create the content, and so just sort of how they are building their brand, whether or not they're going to be on the long run. And then there's also those people who whose interest sort of peaks and then drops and then peaks and then drops. So I feel like those are two different things. I'm not saying this can't be this and this can't be that. It's a matter of how you play the game, But yeah, you're right. What makes an influencer, I think, is just the matter of whether you are able to influence someone with your thoughts and your words, or whether you aren't. I think that's what makes an influencer, regardless of what topic you're talking about, regardless of what you're trying to sell. Do people trust what you have to say? I think it just comes down to that.
And it seems that this is now also a money-making tool, right?
Yeah, very much so.
People are switching to that. Some are making it almost like their full-time careers. So do you see a lot of brands also now switching to that and wanting to invest on influencers or invest on content creators?
Yeah, I definitely think. Yeah, I mean, it's that natural progression of finding the best medium to communicate your message. So right now, more people are on social media, hence brands are moving over
Okay.
to that platform. Definitely, a lot of people are investing in social media specifically.
Okay.
I think just because more eyeballs are there.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
Do you also find yourself facing a lot of criticism in any form as being, too popular social media individual?
Yeah, I think that's unavoidable.
Okay.
And also it comes down to sort of, I think the second you start gaining a new audience, then again the backlash is going to start. I think I'd rather refer to it less as backlash and more along the lines of criticism and
Okay.
more along the lines of like sort of, people are trying to figure out, oh, wait, what why does she talk like that?
Yeah.
Why does she say the things that she's saying?
Yeah.
So as like 50% of the new audience you find will like you and probably 50% just won't.
Right.
So that the negativity comes from the 50% that doesn't. But at the
Okay.
end of the day, I think if you're finding yourself in a situation where you have a lot of people just sort of hitting on you, it also means you've reached an equal amount of eyes who like you as well. It's just they're not as vocal maybe. So yeah, it comes and goes, but then there are instances where like, recently there was like a whole drama situation with a scam and sort of whether influencers are going to be promoting that or not. Responsibility. I talk a lot about social responsibility, but when those things happen, the backlash comes and the problems come. But I
Yeah,
feel
we've
like
seen
we see
brands
it in
also.
seasons.
I'm not too sure if you're talking about the same thing. I'm not going to mention
Yeah.
the brand, but certain brands also trying to, create unrealistic situations or fake videos just to promote a brand using influencers. We've seen a couple of videos going up like that as well. I mean, do you draw a line if you are approached by a certain brand or any brand for that matter, like, who you take on board, who you work with, or you just do anything for the sake of money?
Obviously, again, I think that's very much on like an individual's basis.
Right.
But yeah, definitely. I mean, people have to draw their own moral, like, their lines where they stop and, where they decide to take these on. I mean, personally, obviously, I can say depending on where you come from. Now, in my case, if I have a professional responsibility to, where my industry and like where I work, then I wouldn't take something on that would compromise, what I'm expected to maintain on that side. So yeah, I think for the most part, everyone, they do have that like general responsibility of like not lying to your audience and like, communicating the truth as far as it to be true. But otherwise, I think it's really a personal thing of like what you take on and what you don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Like for me personally, I don't take on skin whitening products. I don't take on fat loss supplements. I don't take on loan schemes. Those are just lines I've drawn for myself, just solely because I don't stand beside those messaging, that messaging. And then you take it case by case as well. Like there have been instances where like big brands have reached out to me, but I have said no solely because maybe some other project I'm working on, I have a competing brand that I might, if I did this, I might lose the goodwill of that brand. So it's just, it's just you figure out what battles you want to fight.
Okay.
世を燃やせ限界を超えろ俺は縁柱煉獄教授の黒方煉獄
And the other criticism, of course, is that influencers or content creators are more in for the freebies. The free hotel stays, the free travel, the free food.
Yeah.
And then that is also, opening up not avenues or opportunities, but others also like trying to follow the same line, wanting to get involved more so that they can also get some of these freebies.
I personally don't see a problem with that. Because at the end of the day, they're not just getting the freebies and just keeping it, right? They're providing a service.
Okay.
And any influencer who starts would have started by providing those freebies. I know that's how I started. Because when brands reach out and you have a less following, they're not going to pay you for the job. Now I can, if a brand approaches me, I can get the freebie and the money.
Okay.
Just solely because that's where my influence level is at now with the stats and what I can provide for them.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of service and how much that company is willing to pay for that service.
Okay.
If they're willing to pay money-wise, then they pay money-wise. But if it's easier for them to pay with a freebie, like a hotel stay or food or like whatever it is, it's yet another form of, it's a give and take. I see absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Is it monetary-wise? Is it more cheaper, if that's the correct word, for brands to invest on social media content creators and influencers as opposed to mainstream media when it comes to advertising or promoting products?
I honestly don't think there's I don't think you can say, there's cheaper. It depends on who you choose to invest in and the content that you're looking for. So if you're going for like someone who has this big production quality in their videos and they have that requirement, like say they have a big budget for their production, even because TikTok, people think like TikTok, Instagram, short clips is probably like they pump it out like that, but that's really not the case, right? Some people put a lot of work goes into it. It may not like it may not be like a multi-camera like production, but a lot of thinking, there's a lot of scripting, there's a lot of thought that goes into it. So it really depends on the quality and how much you're willing to like really set aside for that quality.
I would argue that it is cheaper, but in the sense that it's cheaper, but I think it's also more value for money, because if you take sort of a TV spot, you're talking in the millions for a 30-second ad. And then you have no way of gauging how impactful that ad was, as opposed to social media where you can pay an influencer a certain amount of money to create their video, and then you can see exactly how many people were reached, you can see how many clicks, you can see what that conversion rate is.
So what sort of reach do you do? I mean, usually what sort of reach would a brand look for when it comes to social media? It depends.
Completely. They never ask for. I mean, rarely do they say, "Oh, we want 50,000 views." Like I've never heard that.
So you would give them sort of a package saying, "Okay, this is the amount of reach that you can get."
Not necessarily.
No? They can see what our engagement is.
You just have to go to a profile and see what the video views are like. They can easily access it.
No, but then is there a guarantee that that video would be seen by everybody? Would be viewed the full video would be viewed by that amount?
Yeah. I mean, when you look at someone's profile, you can see, okay, some videos they've gotten millions of views, some videos they've gotten 20,000 views. So it's going to fall in the middle of that, so you can have a basic understanding of what that is going to, what kind of views that's going to gauge, but also it's not just about the views. It's also about, sometimes brands will be willing to pay a content creator with somewhat lesser views at the moment, but they might pay them more because they have more personal brand value when they're attached to that brand. So they want to say, this influencer works with us. She tried our products and she likes it because her word has more gravity to it instead of just the views. So it's a personal branding aspect of it as well.
I do want to add to that. Just also on social media, you're able to like pick and choose your niche, right? There's people who specify in this area, so their word may be more valuable to that product as opposed to some like a general, like a TV spot or like a general famous person promoting it. Someone who actually is in that industry. Say a makeup artist does social media, their makeup knowledge is going to be like more valuable to their audience. So it's better off going through that avenue. And again, it is cheaper to get that one single makeup artist as opposed to doing a big TV spot or a big celebrity.
And has the landscape changed with TikTok getting more and more popular in Sri Lanka? I mean, it was Instagram initially, Facebook a lot, right? Now suddenly it's TikTok. And the sort of content that is being created, I mean, short clips, more, entertaining clips as well.
I think so, maybe. And I think there's a lot more people who online who now brands can reach out to and get different types of approaches to their marketing. So I think I think it's made the landscape a lot more fun.
It's a lot more fun. In the beginning it was like this much people, I mean very few people were online and they were all on Facebook, and then it grew, and
it was boring. It's so interesting with more people.
Exactly.
And I mean the two of y'all also have this mainstream background with y'all, mainstream media background, right? Have you seen also a sudden change in your personal profiles growing after y'all took on social media a lot? I've had more reach on the social media than
than on television. And like it's sad to say, but it is what it is. Like I used to get annoyed back in the day when they're like, "Oh, you're the girl from TikTok." And I'm like, I'm on TV like 5 days a week. How do you not know this? Because it was like, wait. Oh, like there was a time where I think it was towards COVID and a little bit after, where I was like, oh, there was television was here, digital media was here, and then suddenly this happened.
The scales have really tipped.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. In my case, I'm from print media, so I mean, we have been on a different incline.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely, I think social media is really taking over.
So what are your future plans? I mean, as individuals, as popular personalities and content creators on social media, individual plans, I mean, do you see yourselves furthering this whole as career? Or do you do this as just a hobby and additional work? Or
In my case, I don't really see myself doing this as a full-time thing.
Okay.
Just because it's like it was never my original plan, and I have my own thing that I want to do. But I will definitely continue to do social media and making videos and content creation, because it brings me a lot of joy. I really enjoy it. It's something that really just brightens my day. If I can just editing videos and posting it and seeing the interaction, it gives me a lot of joy. So I will definitely continue to do that, but maybe not less like a full-time.
How long does it take for you to create a clip?
Honestly, in my case,
How much
very
time
quick.
do you spend a day?
Honestly, in my case, it's not. It doesn't take a lot of my day. I have
Okay.
a lot of time off my day. It's a quick, just a thought, whatever pops into my mind, recording,
Okay.
upload it as it is. It's just a very quick thing.
For me, it is already part of my career now.
Okay.
It's just it's because of what my job was and is, which is presenting. It's just a sub avenue of that. So
Okay.
I'm just basically doing the same job on social media, and apart from that, I've created a business around social media and sort of handling corporate clients and all of that stuff. So that now has grown into a business. So I while my personal career grows and while I try out different things in my personal career, the social media is going to be definitely a large part of where my career is headed, for sure.
Right, running out of time, so it was really good having you, Sasha, and Dimitri on the program today.
Just Miss Sri Lanka.
Yes.
I wonder if people know your name.
I don't think a lot of people know it's Dimitri. It's just me, Sri Lanka.
Just me, Sri Lankan.
It was
Yes.
lovely talking to you too. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us, and that's all the time we have for you. Till next time, stay safe.